Our next guest, Representative Jim Ellison from Michigan's 26th District. He is one of our state representatives with us on the Oakland County Megacast. Representative Ellison, thank you for being with us today.
It's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
We're pleased to have you on with us since we've last spoken. How have you been? How's your team been, Representative?
I'm sorry?
Since we've last spoken to you, how have you been? How's your team been?
No, we're good. We're busy. We got back up to Lansing and did a little bit of work, and now we're on break again. But everybody's healthy, and I keep getting myself tested. I'm negative still, so that's a good thing.
That's good to hear. Representative Ellison, the last time we spoke to you, the last couple times we've spoken to you, one of the major issues we've covered with you has been the state's unemployment backlog, and we since haven't heard as much about that anymore. It seems like a lot of those cases have begun to be resolved, but that's still unemployment's still a major issue in the state, especially as the federal subsidies are set to expire very soon. And the people of Michigan are going to be on a very reduced income. Any discussion at the Capitol in Lansing about increasing or modifying the state unemployment benefits to better benefit those in Michigan who are on unemployment and may not receive any further federal subsidies?
Well, there hasn't been any discussions that I've been privy to. A lot of those discussions happen on the other side of the aisle. But as far as the current claims, the numbers are coming down. We still have a lot of outstanding claims out there that people are still fighting with. My staff continues to work with them. The numbers are smaller, but they're still bigger than they should be. But as far as extension of benefits, we're going up there again Thursday. We're going to meet. Maybe some ideas will pop there, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Representative Jim Ellison with us from Michigan's 26th District, with us on the Oakland County Megacast. So we've had a lot of changes, of course, throughout the COVID-19 pandemic as Governor Whitmer and her team in Lansing continue to address the COVID-19 pandemic and its ever-changing ebbs and flows, including recently the new mask order requiring wearing of facial coverings in public indoor places and in certain outdoor gatherings beyond a certain population of people being present. Part of what happened in enacting that executive order was announcing that it was in place the day it went into effect, using the emergency alert system. And the governor came in under a little bit of fire for that decision to use the emergency alert system. Do you believe that was a proper use of the emergency alert system to inform the people of a new law being enacted, or was that an overstep, in your opinion, for the governor?
I'm not going to second guess the governor. She's got a lot of resources at her fingers to get the message out. And if her and her team felt that was the proper mechanism to get the alert out, I think what she was trying to do is make sure that everybody heard it. Everybody knew that the rules had changed. Now it was mandatory. I'm not going to second guess whether it was a proper use of the emergency notification system. But it was available and they did use it.
You're so passionate about our natural resources. Do you think attention is being directed away from some of those concerns and pollution during this pandemic and even some of the resources?
Yeah, I think during the pandemic, we're getting our attention diverted from a lot of priorities. I mean, the pandemic is our priority right now, and we've got to make sure that we get through this and the emphasis is taken off a lot of things. I mean, I have my pet projects I'm working on that are sitting by the wayside, waiting for us to try to fix what we're in right now. But it's still we can't ignore the environment, at all. We've got to get back onto it. We're all looking forward to some kind of normalcy, returning back to Lansing and us getting back on on the trail of getting stuff done. That being said, I mean, we still have a few months of election in front of us, and we'll have a new legislature in place in January, and all bets are off. We'll see what happens.
So let's talk a little bit about the elections tomorrow. Any concerns from your standpoint about the election during this pandemic?
Concerns as far as problems with the election process itself, or concerns about my particular seat or anything else? I mean, we've all heard the concerns. I think there's a lot of red flag being raised out there by a lot of people, but I think we need to be diligent. really concerned about absentee ballots. I think the Postal Service was artificially impacted by certain decisions made at the federal level to try to slow the mail down. And so we've got to make sure people get their absentee ballots in the clerk's office. They've got to be in there by 8 o'clock tomorrow. Hand deliver them. Don't rely on the mail at this point. Yeah, I got some concerns with things that have happened, like in the 2016 election. What's going to happen? And we're all really concerned, and any number of things. So it's a scary time. It used to be a time you could trust your elections and go in and the victor would emerge, and too many questions right now. So yeah, from that aspect, I'm concerned about it. My personal respect, I'm unopposed in the primary, so tomorrow's like a day off for me.
Representative Jim Ellison with us. He represents Michigan's 26th district in the State House of Representatives, with us on the Oakland County Megacast today. Representative Ellison, as we are approaching the fall and the schools are getting prepared to reopen, the state, of course, is still working on their state budget. There's another revenue estimating conference that's going to be happening this month that is going to impact ultimately the schools and other services throughout the state going forward in 2021 and beyond. How do you work as a representative, whether it's within your party, whether it's across the aisle, a little bit of both, to ensure that you're inflicting minimal damage given the circumstances on these critical services, while also addressing the state of emergency that we're in, dealing with a pandemic and having to create a balanced budget altogether in that process?
I think we recently just passed the supplemental budget to take care of the current budget year with all the unexpected costs and expenses we had. And I think the process itself proved itself to be very, very good. We worked bipartisan. It was a joint effort. And, we all know that the budget is the main part of our job. Our job is to allocate funds so that the state can function. And we all go up there with that understanding that is what we're supposed to do. So working on a budget is usually one of the things we can cooperate on for the most part. I mean, obviously, we all want certain aspects, more money or less money or whatever. And we have those battles. But by the time we get and put a budget on the floor for a vote, we're usually in alignment for the most part. And I think we can do that again. We're all understanding the crisis we're in, and we've got to start working on the next budget. And my feeling is, regardless of what happens in November, we're still going to be on board to work together to get the budget done.
What happens if we don't get federal dollars to help plug some of these holes in the budget?
Yeah, we're going to have to do some cutbacks. I mean, again, those are the things we're going to fight about. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I would hope the federal government would come through with some money. But again, there's no guarantees on that. We've got to see what's going to happen. But yeah, there certainly could be some cuts. I mean, obviously, we've got to provide all the mandatory and stuff required. I mean, I think public safety and everything is going to be a high priority. Funding the cities, funding the schools are going to be high priorities. But do we fund them at the level you used to, or are we going to have to roll back? We don't know yet.
Representative Jim Ellison with us on the Oakland County Megacast. Representative, just another few minutes with you before we have to let you go. Are there any other important topics that you'd like to discuss, or any other messages that you have for your constituents while you still have time with us today before we let you go?
Well, other than, the thing that's on everybody's tip of their tongue right now is what's going to happen in the schools. And, we've got opinions on a broad spectrum. I mean, my personal opinion is I don't think we should go back to school in the fall. I think this pandemic, we're not anywhere close to being through with it yet. I think we're going to see a rise. I think we're going to see changes. And my personal opinion is we probably should not go back to school in the fall one-on-one. That being said, the districts are going to be responsible. If they feel they can come up with a plan that's going to keep the teachers safe, keep the students safe, keep the public safe, that's going to be their right to do that. And obviously there's going to be parents that don't want to send their kids. And, it's just one of those things. It's the uncertainty. We're in brand new territory right now. None of us have gone through this before. So each day comes and it's a new set of problems. And we'll just, as we always have done, we'll manage to get ourselves through it.
Representative Ellison, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.